You're kidding. Come on, Hangouts, don't trip with me.
That's crazy.
High pressure trades, man. There's nobody like taking 1 ounce and then selling.
Okay, so Craig, you there? I think we're about to go on here. It's 5 till, and I'm playing some clips from previous shows. Oh, hold on one sec.
You there? Reg. You there? Reg, you there?
Hey, everybody.
You there?
I'm here. That black and white, that's a nice look.
I think it's the only one I was playing around just to get rid of the yellow.
Yeah, yeah. That makes you look like a newscaster or something.
And today, fucking over the world? What's up, brother?
I'm happy, man. I'm happy. I'm blessed. I live in a prosperous universe, and there's prosperity and abundance all around me.
Okay, that sounds like a bunch of new agey bullshit.
Antsy fancy, new agey wagey. It's real, man. You know, I realized human beings, we have one unlimited capacity. Human beings have one superpower, and that superpower is love. We have an unlimited capacity to love.
What were we talking about last week, man?
Bruh, you're right. You're right. I thought about it. That's why we're friends. You know, we have to reflect upon each other. And I thought about that. And you know, the only thing that you can do about it is project love and light in every situation you're in. That's all you can do. And do that and practice that as much as you can. It'll make you more powerful, and it will change the environment around you. And if everybody was doing that, then we wouldn't have the problems that we have. It'd be that simple. Each one love one. Love as many as you can.
Who do you call it? Zach Benson has a company. Each one reach one.
Yeah, I know. I was hitting on that. Each one teach one. Each one reach one. I was having a conversation from last week when we talked about the young man I saw on the street that was referring to his woman as my nigga, and was talking about bitch this and bitch that. And I'm at that point I felt helpless because I said, well, you know, what can I really say to this dude? What can I say to him that would be positive and constructive and wouldn't be critical, you know, and judgmental? And it took me a while to realize the only thing I can really do is just project some love to the cat, smile at him, be pleasant. You know, hey, I might ask him a question if he knows the foundation or where any of that stuff that he's talking about, you know, what it really means to other people, maybe, you know, I mean, what it means to him and what it means to other people is there's going to be a big dichotomy there. From, you know, my generation and before, you know, his conversation is offensive, and I realize he doesn't see it as offensive at all. He doesn't see it.
Because it's the environment that we're growing up in now. I was just talking to that kid Trey from Wake Up Now, just chatting with him online. I said, you know, he's 23 years old, kid's making 5 figures, driving around in a brand new Jaguar that the company pays for, and I'm like, you know, and until I met him and the rest of the crew, I thought that generation was shot, bro. I didn't see any ambition. I didn't see any motivation. I didn't see anything charismatic.
You know, that's a good point. A lot of people think those multi-level marketing organizations are Ponzi schemes rather than that type of thing, because they're not familiar with that type of lifestyle. But really, you touched on the secret, and that's to have a crew of energetic people that are really supportive. Any MLM will work. If you got a crew that's supportive and energetic and having fun, you can sell anything, you know, because it's all about energy. I mean, I'm so glad that you sent me those videos. It really kind of like consolidated everything and gave me a chance to really reflect upon my experiences in the past, you know, and the value of them and what I've learned and how I've grown, and got to sit down, you know, and kind of pull everything together, you know, really center and focus. And that was very, very beneficial. So I really I had an epiphany with, you know, with the love thing. It's really the only thing that we can do is to put light into it and to really work on ourselves and our attitudes and what we project and what we represent in you know, whatever environment we're in.
It's true. We could always work on ourselves, man.
We can only work on ourselves. That's the thing. That's the only thing. I mean, you can coach somebody else, but they have to do the work. So if you want to fix yourself, you got to do the work.
A lot of the generations, you know, I grew up in the 80s, and it's like, you know, I see from the 80s to 2000 how life really has changed.
Mm-hmm.
And I see these kids and I talk to these kids and I'm like, you know, their parents who were probably my age grew up in an age where, you know, it was go to school, get the job, 30 years, retire, and it just started changing as I started getting older because, you know, late 70s, early 80s, economy was screwed. You know, I was mixing cement with guys from Harvard, and I was glad that I didn't go to college. I mean, I loved going to the library, I loved reading, but that whole formula never really like panned out with me ever since I was a little kid. You know, I think the worst thing that could have happened to me was working with my dad when I was 5, and then going to kindergarten after. I was already done, man. I was already in the street.
Right.
I was already in the street. And then it was like, okay, now you have to wear a little tie and a shirt, and then you got to be good, and you got to go sit in your chair, and you can't look out the window, and you can't. I was like, oh, come on, man.
Right.
I'm in the Bronx, Queens. I'm with my dad. My dad's showing me how to hook up tractor trailers, and we had manifests, and we needed to find out like where we were going. We had to time the traffic this way we didn't get screwed sitting in traffic, because then you'd be late for a delivery. And then you're gonna give me a tie and a little collared shirt and tell me to go hang out with some kids that are like throwing jacks against the wall.
You know, it's amazing because we see kids that can play the piano, we see kids that can do various things at 5 and 6, and we treat them like they're some type of prodigy, when actually we're holding kids back because we want them to fit to our definition of education. I was talking to some teachers. I was in Aaron Brothers Art Mart, man. I'm talking to this lady's a teacher, and she's dealing with her child with the school district, you know, and discipline problems and that type of thing. Evidently, the teacher is vilifying all the children. Like if the children walk in talking, and she makes them do it over until nobody walks in talking. So she's punishing the obedient children by kind of putting them together, you know, with the disobedient children. So if somebody talks, everybody gets punished. That's the kind of thing you do in the military to build a team. That's not anything you do in a school where you're trying to foster individuality. And
do they really foster individuality though?
No. They're supposed to. That's what I'm saying. They don't even see what they're doing, because that's a military squadron mentality. You know, like common good, the public interest kind of a mentality. And that's not going to help a child find out who they are and what their purpose is. And, you know, you fit in the box, and if your purpose is not in the box, oh well. I was talking about the MLMs and stuff, but really I wanted to tell you that I talk about this video that you sent me. I mean, it's given me a lot of different revelations and I've been really looking at some stuff. I have a friend. He goes by Motivator Man on Facebook, and he motivates people by recommending movies. So if you have you're feeling a certain way, he'll say, hey, well, go watch this particular movie. Go watch As What Dreams May Come, or something like that. You know, watch a Robin Williams movie. It'll make you feel better. It'll give you some insight.
So he's taking the movie genre and he's placing it to how you feel.
He's using it like counseling.
Okay.
Yeah, right. He uses it as counseling, and he's doing these bios of people. He asked me to do a bio, and I'm very honored, you know. But first of all, I can't find a picture of me doing. He says, find a picture of you doing something special, and it's like,
there you go. Just take a snapshot right now. That's it.
Okay, all right. I'll do one of these. The one I sent him, he didn't like. Whatever. But he thought it looked like a date. I sent him a picture of me doing an interview with Zaina.
Take a shot right now, man.
I will. I'll take
a snapshot.
Okay, hold on. As soon as let me talk. I'm talking to Craig, and I'm doing something special, and I took the picture. Let me take the picture right there. Peace. All right, there we go. Done. All right. So anyway, he wanted me to recommend a movie to list a movie that I felt I would watch to be motivated, or to be, you know, to counsel myself in some way. And I said in time, because, you know, I talk about the movie a lot. I talk about the movie a lot because it brings you back into focus on how time is actually currency. You know, it flips
well,
that.
Actually, time is money.
But time is money. Correct. Thank you.
Okay, so because we've always been on the same page with that movie.
Right. So time is the real money, and everything else is currency. Time is the real money because, like you say, with money you buy your time. That's what you do with it, or you trade your time for money. So that movie is very profound. But then, as far as motivation, that wasn't it. What happened is I after talking to that young brother that with the my nigga this and the bitch that and all that kind of thing, I realized how hard it is for black people to love black people. And it's funny because when I kind of mentioned that, I kind of said, I don't know how it came up, but it's been confirmed and affirmed by so many of my friends, people I know. It's like the sagging pants and the whole 9 yards, and the violence and the devaluation of education, all the things like you talked about your generation of the 80s. Your generation was built on my generation. I'm 10 or so years older than you, so we got the same thing. You're the last generation that had that, get a job, go to work, that type of thing, mentality. But my generation and generation before me is like that. So we have all these generations that are looking at this and really being really turned off, And I realized the only thing I can do with, I think somebody joined though. The only thing I can really do about relating to that is to generate love. So I said I had looked at movies, and these movies have come into my life, but it's not one movie. It's like 6. You'd have to watch a series of 6 movies to express or to relate to how I'm feeling about this. How it kind of like how it makes sense. The first movie you would look at would probably be something like Amistad, okay? And then you would want to say, after Amistad, you'd want to see like 12 Years a Slave. And then Glory, and then like The Help, and then like The Butler. And there has been so much damage done to black people in America psychologically. It's just amazing. And I mean, people, it's frustrating as a black man to not talk about racism in this country to my friends, because it's something I have to deal with all the time. And it's not like I deal with it from a different perspective. I don't deal it from the perspective of a victim. I deal with it from the perspective of it's like seeing dead people. I see it everywhere, and I see how it's affecting people. And it's not really affecting me because I know what it is. I know it can't hurt me. It's like a ghost. It can't hurt me. It's just something ugly. But I see it creating mischief in other people's lives and separating people. And I see people dealing with it. And that young man is a victim of that racist system, pushing him in a direction making him establish himself as an outcast from the mainstream of society for no particular reason. There's no cause. There's no, it's nothing but making his life more difficult. It'd be different if there was. It'd be different if we were like Ireland, or we were some unit that was cohesive and trying to protest some injustice, like fighting apartheid or like what's going on in the Middle East. But it's not even like that. We're a sub-society of the American society that professes to want to be included in society, and the society professes that opportunity is there, but there's these dead people running around, these ghosts, and what the ghosts do is propagate and fertilize and tend and grow this division.
Okay, but here's a point. Because I'm listening to what you're saying. Those are your ghosts. Professing love are no ghosts.
Did you get the point? Where
I got the point 150%, man.
Well, I said I see this. I see it.
No, I know you see the dead people. I get it.
Right.
I understand it. But what we're talking about is love. So
love
love
is the action. When I'm talking about ghosts, I'm talking about the intellectual side of it. Because
I get it.
The love side of it is the only thing that can overcome that, because the love just jumps over it and says acceptance. Just accept them, however they are, however they got there. First, accept.
Why just discard them?
Excuse me?
Why not just discard them? It's
Because
your life.
well, discard what?
Discard the dead people.
Oh yeah. No. That's okay. I'm looking at this from the outside as an observer. Okay, this is
okay. No. I thought you were talking about something entirely different.
no. When
We've already bypassed that. They're not your ghosts.
No, but I see them affecting other people. That's what I'm saying. It's like I can still see it happening.
Okay, but that's my point. You still see them affecting other people, right?
Right.
Close your eyes to that and
Right.
walk away.
Right. No. I don't have to walk away. See, because we can't walk away. That's the point. We got to get involved. We have to get involved with each other.
But when I'm saying walk away, you got to walk away from the dead masses, right? So what we're doing is we're discussing the dead masses and we're bringing that whole thing to the forefront, right? But we can't penetrate those dead masses.
No, I know.
You'll kill yourself doing that.
I know.
I'll kill myself doing that.
Let me back up a little bit. Okay, so let's take the this is like my process of solution, because I saw this young man. Seemed like a decent cat. He was just his appearance was not what I would do, and his language was not what I would use. And it was kind of abrasive, so. And it really stuck me. So I'm saying, what can I do about that? Now, all I can do with him is just love and accept him as he is. But I have to somehow engage with him. I got to somehow engage. And this is, I guess this was the love-hate relationship, because I completely understand you saying, walk away from the ghost, walk away from it, dump it. It doesn't have anything to do with me, but it does. Because that's exactly what we're not supposed to do. I can't discard. You can't just discard people. You can't just discard a generation.
But no, we're not discarding anybody. What you're doing is you're walking into somebody else's low vibration.
No,
they should be walking into your higher vibration.
I want to be a source. I want to be a source of raising vibrations. A higher pitched object can raise the vibration of another object.
But if somebody is staying in a lower vibration, you're already saying that the cat's already he's already passed.
No.
There's certain boundaries.
No. That's what society wants it to appear like. Because when you see a young man running, with his pants sagging, and you hear a certain type of language, it's easy to assume that he's past help. But how does he take care of his mother? I know a kid that talks and acts like that is a stay-at-home dad and takes care of his 2 kids and homeschools them.
I get that, man. There's fantastic dads.
Right.
I'm talking. Okay, we talk about these kids that I was telling you about. Wake Up Now, right?
Okay.
They're 22, 23 years old. That what we're talking about doesn't even play into them.
So that's a whole different group. But that's
the group. That's the group we have to nurture.
Well, that group is already taking care of themselves. That group, I mean, we can
not yet, because they're going to be walking into problems that they have not even reached yet.
Right. We can nurture that group with our experience. We can nurture that group with our expertise. That group is at a different level. But there's another group, and I'm looking at that group, and I'm looking at this cat, and I'm listening to not only how he's saying it, but I'm listening to what he's saying. I'm listening to what he's concerned about. And he's talking about family matters. And he's trying to keep his family unit together. And he's working with whatever skills he has. Now, he might be functioning at a lower vibration, but if I'm vibrating at a higher frequency, very powerfully, then somehow I'm going to resonate to a greater or lesser degree. I would like to be able to resonate off of that young man and his lady, if I can do that. I saw a guy walking down the street, and with a young lady, and she was carrying a baby and a baby's bag, and he was just walking. And I was saying, hey, bro, you might ask her if she needs help with the bag. Maybe he never thought of it. You know, maybe never thought of it.
That's true.
So, because the whole thing about the love-hate relationship and watching these 6 movies is we got 500, 600 years of discarding black Americans, black people in America, and us discarding each other. And I realized that me personally, I can't afford to do that because I'm falling right into the hands of them. I'm not going to honor them with any type of description.
I don't think you are, man. I think when you not saying you, I'm just talking about in general as a person.
A person.
When you find that abundance and that love that you want to share with the world, I would not go looking for it. I would not go. I just share it with the world, and whatever's going to be attracted to you is going to be attracted to you in your message, because you're gonna frustrate yourself, man, because you're gonna take it personal. I know you. You're gonna take that shit personal. As soon as somebody says to you, you know what, fuck off, old man. You're gonna be like, no, now I gotta push even harder. I'm telling you, man, with all the love in my heart, fuck them. Walk away. You're gonna minister to an entirely different class of love and abundance, because that's who you are. You're still hanging in that low vibration. And it's like, I know I got to do this, and I got to tell this one, and I got to show this one. Fuck that. Show the world. Be the 1 in 7 billion, bro. That's who you are.
So when's your book coming out?
Ba 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 ba.
So when's your book coming out?
And the bitch slap just got settled. No, man, I'm telling you, bro. That's the reason why I sent you those videos, because we take shit so personal, and when we frustrate ourselves to the point where nothing is produced, we're just hanging back. When it's like, no, I see on social media shit. I'll crack some stuff on social media, and it's like, yeah, I like that. But everybody is saying, yeah, I like that. Not just one group.
What time do you have? It's about 15 after?
23.
Post some links on copy the link and post it on Facebook.
I did.
Okay, yeah. Keep posting every now and again, because people won't see it. Because if I try to do anything, it makes this thing crash. So I need to build a more powerful computer and see if that makes a difference.
Why? Just do it from what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
And we take the video. You take the video and you put it on YouTube. That's it. There's nothing to it. You don't have to do anything to it.
Oh, it's recorded. I mean, as soon as we finish, it's already on YouTube. Recorded. It's called Turning Point and the date. Put in
cool.
Turning Point 09, 28, 14, and that's it.
Because I don't have time for people that are going to say they're going to come and they don't. We get more attention by just doing it, talking about what we're talking about, and then it will find its audience.
Yeah, I'm more concerned about the conversation. I've been waiting all week to talk to you about this, because I'm like, how could a black man have a love-hate relationship with black people? What the fuck is that?
What the fuck is that? I hate white people. What the fuck? Why are you?
I know you hate white people, but you're twisted.
I'm twisted. Fuck. They talk about ISIS and this shit and that shit. And you know who fucks me up more than anything is that fucking white guy in Congress wearing a $5,000 fucking suit. I'm more afraid of him.
Yeah, I'm just. I got, like, for example, I have
no vibration. No.
Okay.
It is, bro. Why can't it just be like Morgan Freeman said? Why can't you just talk to me as a man? Why do you got to label yourself? I don't look at you as a fucking black man. I look at you, a guy from southern Sicily.
I'm not. That's not
with
even,
a really ridiculous Gilligan Island hat.
You hate it. I know you want this hat. Look at that. It's
no, it's a cool ass hat, man. I got no hair on my head.
I'm trying to grow my.
You got the all man ventilation holes on the top.
Dude, I've been growing my hair. It's like crazy. I've been
No,
growing
man,
it.
put the hat in the
I know
corner.
it's scary. It's scary. Dobie Gillis, right? This is the Dobie Gillis hat. I like
Dobie Gillis.
experience. Um,
No,
no,
but I'm telling you, I like these guys, man. They're young, they're on fire. You know, they bring passion. It's not even fucking. It's not even. I see there's black, Hispanic, white, yellow, fucking orange, green. Nobody gives a flying fuck. Only want to produce. That's it.
That's the beautiful thing about about that generation, isn't it? I mean, that whole biracial thing. It's like, man, fuck that. That's lame. That's if they don't have enough. They don't take enough value in what their parents think to care what their parents thought. You know.
Who cares?
It's a beautiful
It's
thing.
a low vibration, so why not take the higher vibration and everybody walk off the mountain together?
You make a point about not trying to say everyone. Just go with the flow and be in the high vibration. Go with the because at the end of the day, it is a choice. You choose. It is.
Absolutely.
You choose. And he sees the same world that I see. So he sees that there's like he has chosen that as opposed to. I mean, we all I don't know anybody who creates their style, their appearance, we don't create a culture, we choose a culture. So that's the culture he chose. So
okay, but here's the thing, culture, what is culture? Culture grows in a fucking petri dish.
it's habit styles. You know what it is. Come on, but I'm agreeing with you. Let me agree with you. You're right. It almost feels there's almost a guilty feeling of just saying, okay, we just don't deal with that. But actually, that's how you deal. That is how you function. It's like I don't want to deal with that. Okay, cool. I ain't dealing with that.
We were just talking about. I was telling my daughter because we're actually like taking the pages off the walls,
Mm-hmm.
and we're putting the chapters together, right?
Mm-hmm.
Still got seasoning and spice that we got to put in it, but we're actually making the book,
Okay.
right? So we're taking all the pages, and we're laying it out like it's just black and white copies, right? It's just a copy of what I want the front to look like, copy of what I want the back to look like. Taking the pages off the wall because it's been a year and a half. It's like wall art. There's hundreds of pages all over the walls. My girls are just like, when's this shit gonna get done? So we started today taking pages and putting them in order, pulling them off the wall, making copies, making 4 copies. This way you bring it to the attorney, and now I'm starting to see a book come together. And then we're going to tackle each chapter and be like, okay, what do we want to finish up with this? Let's go through all the punctuations. Let's go through all the grammar. Let's go through all the jokes. Let's go through all the stuff, and then label it out. And then that's one page. That's the second page. So the story flows continuously. I want the story to flow from the first chapter all the way to the end, where you can take this book and just be like, holy shit. It's been 4 hours. I'm done. I want it to be seamless. But it's my first one, so I'll see from the response. But I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to be thinking about the the shit that's going on in the world that'll stop me, paralyze me. We lose production. I'm not saying don't fight. Shit, I'm kicking and screaming all goddamn day long. You know that. Michael, meet Reg.
How you doing, Reg?
Welcome, brother. How you doing? I'm happy.
You're happy? Good for you.
I'm happy. You look
Mike,
relaxed.
how you doing?
Good. I just happened to see a thing on Facebook, so I gave it a shot.
We do these every Sunday night. You never know who's going to jump on.
Okay, that's good.
We just talk.
So what's on your mind, Mike?
What's that?
What's on your mind?
What's on my mind? You know what? To be honest with you, it just sucks getting old.
How old are you?
We're just talking about.
I mean, it was a beautiful day today, and I went
Is
to
your
the
birthday
gym.
today or tomorrow?
It's next week.
Oh, next
It's October
week?
4th. Yeah. That's not why I'm saying. I'm saying because, I went to the gym and I took a ride on my bike and I had a couple of drinks and I'm shot. I don't like this feeling. I'm trying to stay healthy, and I am, but
You just learn to appreciate rest more when you get older. That's all.
And
yeah,
that.
if I could rest, it's
How old will you be? How old are you?
I'm gonna be 53.
Oh my goodness gracious. He's a old.
No, it's when you're used to being healthy. Not that I'm not healthy now. It's just old age kicks the shit out of you.
Really? You think it's just? I don't think it's different.
What's that?
I'm older than 53. So Craig's face is older than 53.
So you have these things, and you just talk about whatever's on your mind.
Whatever, man. Just try to communicate instead of that fucking text bullshit on Facebook. And
oh yeah. It's tough.
No,
it's tough.
It's ridiculous, man. I like to take tonality into verbiage, and it's like, what is on people's minds? I see this shit, Fox News and this judge, and I'm like, you know what? I understand all of that, Mike, but it's like I look at like who actually runs this Fox shit? Who's being paid to put all of this propaganda? Do I think people want us fucking dead, dying, and broke? Yeah, of course, but I'm a little fuzzy on this shit, man. I'm I'm very cynical when it comes to this stuff.
I'm not sure what really lies behind it, but like the thing that I posted, I like what she was saying. It's, my opinion. It's we're too liberal. We need discipline. Just like, listen, okay, I'm going to tell you, okay, words can't describe how much love you have for your daughter, right, Craig?
Yeah.
Okay. Now better than anybody, I'm sure, or the average person. If you really love her, you have to discipline her. You can't spoil her as much as you want to. You can't, because you're going to ruin her when she gets older. No?
True.
Define spoil.
I think that's the same thing with the country. No? Because just because somebody's older doesn't mean that they're mature. So the more freedom. Listen, I grew up. Okay, I wasn't really spoiled, especially not with material things, because my family didn't have a lot of money. But I guess I was spoiled in a lot of ways. My grandmother, doing what I want. But I paid the price for it, because I really I struggled career and financially because I didn't have that discipline. So it was a handicap, and I think that's what's happening with the country, because you see all the pictures I post, Craig, of like my family that came here from Italy, my father, my uncles, my cousins.
I love those old pictures, man.
Each one of them didn't know the language, okay, but they all managed to buy homes. They found a trade, whether it was a shoemaker, a mechanic. My dad was a hairdresser, didn't want to be, but he saved his money. He didn't go out and spend thousands of dollars in a year on alcohol and food like I do and the rest of America. But that's why they were able to buy homes. And my father bought a home in Fort Lee, a home in Florida. He bought the building he had his business in. We went to Italy, as kids. We took vacation. So if they did it, why can't the rest of the country do it? They just don't want to make the sacrifices.
Because you know what? I have to disagree with you. It's got nothing to do with the sacrifices. It has to do with the opportunities that are presented to us. And the reason why I say that, when your dad came here, right, and I'm writing this shit about in my book, I got taught how to be a laborer, a mason, and a carpenter by the Greeks and the Italians who spoke no English, okay? And the only thing they knew was mortar, wood, and land. That was it. And they worked tirelessly day in and day out to provide for their family, right? The problem right now is every time you put your money someplace, it gets fucking stolen from you. And it gets stolen by these kids with algorithms whose bosses no longer are corporate heads and CEOs of companies sitting around a fucking table. Everything is an algorithm. So it's easy to just steal from people, and then you have to look at who controls the media and who tells us what to buy, where to go, what to school to go to, how to raise our kids.
Yeah,
And
okay.
it now, which we're just inundated with so much bullshit where we have to fear everything, and it's kind of like my point is just stop, walk away from it.
Right. I mean,
Because we can't.
Do you think the opportunities are different for us now, or you think that we have the same foundation to work with that your parents had, Mike?
No, definitely not. Definitely not. It's well, I can't say that because to do what they did in the small business is very tough. However, they didn't have a chance for an education. I was able to go to school and become a CPA. My nephews are going to college, the best colleges. They're going to graduate. So in one respect, no, but in the other respect, I guess yes. I don't know. I know it's tough to have your own small family business because these fucking corporations, that make me sick to my stomach, especially in the food business when we all know like what McDonald's serves and Burger King and shit like that. And yet they're making so much money. That blows my mind. But aside from that, I think it's very tough to start a mom and pop business the way they did back in the 50s and the 60s. Yes,
the government has a big part to do with it. There's a lot of regulation now for small business. Things like the most recent thing is the minimum wage. I mean, if you had 5 employees at X amount of dollars per month, you have to raise the wage. Now you can't afford as many people. Things like that, makes it difficult for small business. So I would agree that things are different.
Mike, I just posted what this girl just said on your from Facebook thing, right? So all I said was pure fear mongering. She's applauding biotech machines. I agree. Close the borders. Yeah, absolutely. Close the fucking borders. Shut them down. Okay? The problem is they want these borders open, okay, so they can create all this mass confusion. And now everybody's like, Obama. Look, I think he's a jackass just like all the other presidents. But nobody, you got all the Bush lovers that don't realize he signed the Freedom and Prosperity Act. Okay? I don't know if it was 2005 or 2006, but that opened the borders. That took money away from the Border Patrol. That stopped the buildings. That stopped the building of defenses. That stopped all the shit that was going on. It didn't put his end to it. It created it. So now we merged Mexico, the United States, and Canada through trade. Who benefits from that? China. Because now you take away all the jobs from the ports of California and you run all this shit through Mexico for cheap labor. Right? Okay? So now, this girl writes, the problem is all I see are politicians looking at each other, which is true, 150%. Waiting for the other to do something. Well, they're waiting for the others to do something because they're being paid by lobbyists to look in a different direction. Meanwhile, terrorists are crossing our borders as if they are crossing the street. 150%, you got to close the borders. Then it's a woman was beheaded and very nearly another on American soil. This is fear-mongering? I respectfully disagree. No, because now we're putting tonality to it, okay? What I'm saying is it's fear-mongering put into your face day in and day out about not creating solutions. They're not creating solutions.
About giving up power, Mike was talking, we were talking about the small businesses, and I was looking for how to phrase the point. They had more opportunity to be free and to be independent. Mike was kind of, beating himself up, saying that as a kid he kind of got to do what he wanted to do, and he paid the cost for it. But you pay the cost whether you do what they tell you, whether you do what they want you to do. We used to be able to start a small business and grow a family from that and send your kids. Those days are becoming far and few between. They're making it harder and harder to do that. Education costs so much, and what happens is they keep us divided with looking at politicians, fear-mongering at the borders. We're looking at it's easy just to give up our power and responsibility and let them take care of us. That's what the media is all about now. Give up power. You don't need to be independent. You don't need to make you to cut from beef from a different cloth. Just get in line and let's we can do this for you.
Well, maybe. I mean, I just look back at, you know, in the 50s and the 60s and the 70s and ask myself, were things better? And I think they were.
I think so too.
Don't you see more legislation coming down as a CPA? Don't you see it become more and more restrictive for small business to do business?
Without a doubt, yeah.
You know?
It's very difficult. It's especially with the Social Security tax that you have to pay, you know, both parts. I think that's something that should definitely be, at least in the beginning years of a small business, they should lighten up on it, because and on top of the fact, you take me, a single guy, if I work for 30 years, okay, 30 years, and make $100,000 a year, I'm putting $15,000 a year into Social Security. If I die and I'm not married, okay, all that money that I put into Social Security goes to the government.
Yep.
So I mean, that's you know, that's almost $500,000 over 30 years, not counting the potential, like whatever that could have earned throughout those years. So you know, financially with the Social Security tax, you know, I think it's very difficult. Now, did they have this 30 years ago? I'm not sure. It probably wasn't as high as it is now. I don't know. But yeah, it's very tough. And then, you know, with the insurance and, you know, minimum tax, whether you make money or not for Jersey, you know, corporation. I mean, every time you turn around, it's like a shakedown.
So for a small business to be competitive, and especially in this country, you can't make enough profit to stay in business, because you have to pay too much to the government and fines and everything else. You have to make all the other.
Well, they almost make it like it's not worth it, you know.
Exactly, which is as I said. So just get a job. Don't start.
Right.
Get a job. Wait for your pension. Get in line. We'll take care of you.
Right.
Why not
right.
start a co-op business?
Because people have to get along. People are, if they're fear mongering, then we're all afraid of each other. So how can we start a co-op if you don't even know your neighbors?
Walk away from it.
If you
That's what I was telling you about. That's what I was telling you about. Wake up now, man. The kids are starting their own business for $100.
well, the
And
internet,
they're getting the tools. They're getting the tools to learn a business. They're getting mentors that are showing them what to do, how to do it, why they have to do it. And these kids, 20, 22, 23 years old, are making $15,000, $20,000 a month.
before they're jaded, technology is the answer. I agree.
But you still have, like we discuss stuff on Facebook, and then all of a sudden it's like that doesn't work anymore. Now we have to speak to each other. We have to understand each other's body language, our tells. We have to pantomime, all of that stuff, so we understand each other, right? Now the next level is going back into speaking again to each other in person, because we humans need that communication. We went from Western Union, like the Pony Express, right? Went through all of this technology and all of this booming and everything like that, to now we're here. We're back to Western Union again.
Right. Yeah, I've always said that too. I had my computer in 1995, and then when I was like instant messaging on AOL, I thought it was the coolest thing. Like, but then when I said to myself, you know, it's like, what are they going to come out with next, where we could actually hear the people's voice? You know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, I agree. It's kind of strange. You know, we're all excited about texting, but yet, you know, texting existed 100 years ago. You know, it's kind of like asinine.
This technology that we're using here, I think, is a good. I think this is amazing. First of all, I mean, we can do this for 8 hours for free, and it's recorded, and anybody can tune in anywhere in the world. So the whole point of this meeting that we have every Sunday is just to encourage people to get together and talk. And there's no script, because we don't need it to be scripted. We need to know what everybody else is thinking. Before you came on, we were having another conversation. But with mainstream media trying to get us to think what they want us to think about, we need these forums so that we.
Yeah, that's marketing, but that's always been the case. You know?
Okay, no, but that's my whole point. It's marketing. So I'm looking at this shit that they're talking about with this ISIS stuff. Do I think it's a threat? Yeah, absolutely, 150%. There's sick fucks everywhere. They want to behead everybody. But now they'll take some fucking guy, right, going through the Midwest or whatever, and just because he's a batshit loon crazy fuck and he decapitates somebody, and the reason why he didn't decapitate the second one was because somebody came out and shot his ass.
Right.
But they're gonna talk less about that and more about how he was a radical Muslim, just to scare the living shit out of everybody. That's my point. That's my point. There have been.
Yeah, but fear sells.
Huh?
Fear sells, you know. Fear, like in other words, that's more of a meaty story. You know, that's something that's going to get everybody's attention. Everybody's talking. Nobody's going to be like, oh, like nobody wants to hear a good story. Like, your good stories don't carry that excitement. It's always,
No, exactly. My point is this: anytime you see something in the media, all right, I always look at the story that they're not talking about. They're not talking about Goldman Sachs and the New York Fed getting busted with the fucking 48 hours of audio tapes, how they're fucking laughing, and they're saying that they sold out everybody, and everybody's going to lose their fucking pensions because these guys created derivatives that just ripped off fucking grandma. That's the shit that pisses me off about the American public.
Okay, Mr. Low Vibration, the whole gets infinitely deep. Before you got on, we were trying to get him gritting, Mr. Low Vibration. Yeah. Can you hear this? Let me turn it up for you. Craig and I were talking about projecting love. Love is being the answer. And I used an example of generational, some things that I observed, and I felt they were irritating. And I kind of got involved in, just like he's talking about derivatives and things they're not talking about. It's like a slippery slope they take us down. They find out what your buttons are, and we've got access to so much that if you keep looking, you're going to find that stuff that's going to push your buttons, and we have to go in a completely different direction, I believe. We got to we have to have these conversations like we're having tonight. Talk about, Mike, what's really going on in your life. When I talk about what's on your mind, in your life, in your world, wherever you are in the country, what are you really concerned with? Not what the news wants you to look at. That's important.
Right.
Yeah, because if you don't have anybody to talk to, you lose your fucking mind.
And we have.
And then you have two clowns like us, who we like to entertain and we like to do the horse and pony show and all of this other shit, but yet we're kind of like fucking intelligent. We have common sense. Now it's kind of like you need somebody to fucking talk to, because you don't want to feel like you're doing this crazy shit walking through life all by yourself. And that's my biggest thing, man. Fucking people are ready to snap everywhere. Everywhere you turn around, they're ready to fucking snap. It's not just in the United States.
All right, but you said a good thing. Okay, now, why do you think everybody's ready to snap now as opposed to 30, 40, 50 years ago?
Because we didn't have 30, 40, 50 years ago. It was more about the setup than the actual doing. Okay, 30, 40 years ago, they were setting this up to be a swindle, right? So it wasn't actually in practice yet. Then as time got on, they started, you're an accountant, Mike, so you can look at the pension plans. Why'd they switch over to 401ks? Because they figured, hey, you know what? When these fuckers are 30 years out and we have to pay them back, let's not teach them financial literacy, right? Let them take control of their own shit. They don't know the language. We could rob them 30 years out, which is exactly what they're doing now.
Right.
And it's depressing. It's sad. Because nobody fights back anymore. Nobody says this bullshit.
No, I agree. Nobody fights back. But okay, you see, the way I look at it, okay, everything is choices, right? And the way you live your life, you make choices. Now, being 53, okay, this winter, and again, this may not be in line with the financial aspect of the world and all that, but it really is, because it's down to like human choices, and I'm a little tired, so that's why I'm a little out of it. But my point is this, okay? It's like this winter was very hard on me. Well, I was depressed because of the weather, because some changes in my life, because work, the working hard, making less money, and so forth. So, what do you do? At 9 o'clock, 9:30, after working all day, what's your reward? You go and eat, and then you have 3 or 4 drinks, and then, so that puts on weight, and that makes it difficult to sleep. So I kind of destroyed my body from January to April of this year. Now, I've drank my entire life. I like to drink, Long story short, came April, I went down to Florida, started taking care of myself. I didn't drink when I was down there. I started, like weaning off it. Went to Italy, got healthy, came back, and I still drink, but not as much. Like before, it was like if I was Craig, if you were to come up here and we would go out to grab a bite, and I would have 2 or 3 drinks, but I avoid that. I only drink, like once a week, specific times. My whole point, the whole purpose of me bringing this up is, in order for me to be healthier now at 53, I have to make certain changes that I didn't have to make at 43 or 33. And there's no leeway. So if I want what I want, I have to do certain things.
You're going to have to do things that are uncomfortable.
Well, or not even, they're not even uncomfortable. They're really not. It's just I'm not used to it. But the point is, people don't want to make those changes.
No, of course not.
But until they do, they're going to be, ready to snap and all that, because they're not like accepting. My point is, and I hope I'm not, I hope I'm making, I'm speaking clearly, but I've taken stock of my life, my work, where I am financially and so forth, and I've accepted it all, and I'm just moving forward with what I have, and not saying, oh, I'm 53, I should have this, I should have that, because maybe I should, maybe if I did something else, but it's such a peaceful feeling. You're just like in a like I got a new car, okay, and I'm so excited for this car. It's a $33,000 Audi Q5, but you take some other people, they could be excited because they're on their 3rd house. And that's fine for them, but this is where I'm at. And you know what? It's okay. It's not a competition. So
no, it's not.
Right, but the point is I'm making this decisions for my life, for me to be more comfortable and happy in my life, and that's what people have to do. And the same thing financially. I'm putting a pool in for my mother down in Florida. I bought this car. Guess what? I'm not going to go to Food for Life, like where we went that day. I love their sandwich. I don't know how the fuck they make those egg sandwiches. I don't know if it's the bacon or whatever, but I'm going to make my own now, because the money that I save seems like a little each day, but that's going to be enough to pay for my car and part of the pool. So by making that sacrifice, or I shouldn't even call it sacrifice, making that decision, people don't want to do that.
No, they want it quick. They want it now.
And
Then people don't know it's that simple, just to make a different plan and stick to it. Do they not know to do that, or they don't want to do that?
They don't want to get out of the comfort zone, because it's something that it will rock your world. It's something that is painful, because take Michael as an example, right? He's an outgoing guy. He likes to socialize, right? We all do. And the word, I'm listening to the words you're using, is like, I'm making this sacrifice. No, you're just changing your life because you want to be happy.
Right. Yeah, you're right. It's not a sacrifice.
Reg and I were talking about this shit before. It's the words that you use that can determine a different outcome of your life. Just by what you're talking about. Just by what you're thinking about.
Yeah.
No, I sent Reg a metaphysical money Bible. Right? It's on YouTube. It's a phenomenal hour and a half. Because it's what we're talking about right now, changing the direction of your life. It's not easy, but it's simple. I have to do the same thing, man. I'm still overweight. I'm ready to drop this book. I'm going to start doing speaking gigs. I got to get on stage. I don't want somebody to be like, I'm not listening to him. He's a fat fuck. That's the first thing they're going to say. I know that, so I got to drop 60 pounds. I got to stop eating the shit that I need to eat. I need to start, juicing. I live in Mexico, man. I got organic carrots. I got chaya, which is like 10 times better than spinach. I'm not juicing that shit.
You could be at the beach every day. You could be at the beach every day swimming. That does wonders.
Well, you could be at the beach. You could be at the cenotes. You could go to a pyramid and just hang out and collect your thoughts.
Well, I'm just saying to get healthy, to get your body strong.
But health starts here first.
Yes.
You have to overcome all of the fears that you have.
Right.
I'm not saying you in general. I'm just talking about people, and that's a hard thing to do, is to change your vibration. Changing your vibration is a very difficult thing, but it's simple. The brain doesn't know the difference between fantasy and reality. So starting right now, you can change your life on a dime. You just spin your life in a different direction. And then when you start, but what happens culturally, we start looking at things, and it's like, oh, well, Michael's not coming out anymore. Or Michael, oh, did you see Michael? He doesn't look right because he's not doing certain. Fuck them.
Right.
It's your life.
Yeah.
And that's when I think, once we start, and this is what Reg and I were talking about, when we start sharing, like, appreciating what you have now, the abundance and joy that you have right now, in making that decision to change your mindset and go in an entirely different direction. I'm sure you, came back fantastic after going to Italy.
Yeah.
I was like, he's finally fucking going. I wish he would just stay there and then deal with what you have to on a reverse commute. But I get it. I mean, it's family obligations, it's cultural obligations, and it's just like we're bombarded every day with all kinds of mind shit. And then on top of it, we got to worry about people wanting to chop our fucking heads off.
Well, he was asking about. Michael was mentioning if it was any tougher back in the the 50s and the 60s. We didn't have 24-hour news. We didn't have instant access to worldwide information. There's always something terrible going on somewhere.
Somewhere, because we're humans, man. We're like the worst diaspora on this fucking planet.
Now, in that regard, I agree with you. You say you just got to walk away because you can't heal all that. But I'm listening to Mike, and I'm inside. I'm laughing, thinking about how similar everybody is. I'm listening to him and his aspirations, and his motivation to improve himself, physically and financially, and mentally he wants to be cooler with the things going around him and stuff. He's doing stuff for his mom, the same things. So that solution we were talking about earlier, Craig, about that love, it's just acceptance. Like we were saying at the beginning of the show, just accept people for how they are, and give them the benefit of the doubt, and discover who they are. And this is more important, connecting. If it's a global community or a neighborhood community, we got to connect with people. That part of walking away we can't do. I agree. That's
my whole point. That's my whole point. We're sharing our love and our abundance, and Michael jumps on. And Michael might say, hey, you know what? I got on this call Sunday. It was really cool. It helped me out. It helps me out. It helps you out, because we're all talking and thinking about the same shit, and it's kind of like, whoa. We're all going through the same stuff together.
Right.
You talk something I picked up about that from that video that you sent me. I want to share with Mike, and it said Oprah does it too. So it's got to be true. It says start an appreciation, a gratitude journal. Just get up in the morning on a piece of paper and write down 5 things that you're grateful for, because it right after the beginning of the day it focuses your mind on abundance, the abundance of mind, and gratitude, and that's a great way to start your day. And it was really cool because I started doing it and just be grateful for just to take a minute, have a cup of coffee, or walk your dog.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah.
Take some time and just be grateful for and work from there. Work from that first thing in the morning. Hello, gorgeous.
Say hello.
Yeah. Hey, baby. I see you got another monkey.
Love you.
Love you.
Yeah, take a
But Reg, you hit the nail on the head. Grateful.
Yeah. And be in the
Grateful.
now. Be in the now. Because all that other stuff, man, it's like, it's funny. Because all you have control over is the now. And when you talk about metaphysics and stuff, all it really exists is right now. And when you walk away from the past and walk away from the future, just focus on being aware of the right now. It's amazing. Amazing.
the thing that we have a lot of hard times doing is walking away from our past.
Amen.
We don't believe that we deserve a really nice life because we have so much luggage and
Move your mic. You got your mic down in your throat.
So we don't think that we deserve this. I'm not talking about myself. I'm talking about just society in general. We don't think that we deserve to leave the luggage at the station and move on. You know, it's kind of like, and it's sad too because I run into so many people. It's the same shit. Everybody's like this. Why? You're driving a Benz. Granted, you don't own it. You're leasing it or whatever for a tax write-off or whatever. I understand that. I get that point. But it's like, fuck, how much is enough?
But if you're in the now,
Right.
if you're in the now, you're not paying for it right now, and the note's not due right now. So right now, just drive it and enjoy it right now. That's the now part of it. People just like, I
don't know. Humans are
I'm a big advocate for being grateful. I mean, you know, growing up, I was grateful for so many things. I just remember being in bed, you know, as a kid, and there's having a snowstorm outside. I was like, I am so lucky I have a roof over my head. Okay, and it's the truth. A lot of people don't think that. I can remember, okay, so clear, being in bed, okay, with a soda, which is not good for you, you know, as a kid, you know, and the frozen pizza, watching the honeymooners, and I felt like I was on top of the world. I was in bed, you know, like it's snowing out or raining. You know, you're protected. You have your parents, your family. You're in a nice, comfortable bed. You have food. It's like, God, I'm so blessed, you know. And I've carried that all my life. I think that has also deterred me from being, quote unquote, more successful. I shouldn't say that. I should making more money than I'm making now. But you know what? Less is more. Sometimes, you know, like Craig, I told you the deal with my girlfriend's family. They have all the money in the world, but they're not happy. They're not even close to happy. I wouldn't change my life with them and for all their money in the world, you know.
Yeah, but that's the whole thing. Everybody has a different definition of success. My success, honestly, is making sure that my little girl grows up to be a decent fucking human being.
Right.
Then I'm good. I'm good. I'm supposed to raise my daughter. That's why we go back to the States. We're gonna homeschool, and I'm gonna homeschool, but she's gonna be in so many different things for whatever she wants to be in. I mean, it's mandatory in our house that she's in Aikido.
Right.
Just because the world is a sick place, and if somebody's coming after her with a machete, I'm going to make sure that she knows how to take that shit out of his fucking hands or her hands or whatever.
Right.
Because that's the world that we live in. I understand that.
Yeah.
Because we're in for a lot of shit in the United States. I mean, there's going to be a lot of shit coming down, and I don't think the American public is ready for it.
Right.
There's a lot of sick people, and I mean, they're just walking in through the borders.
Well, not even they're here already, you know.
They've been. There's a place in Michigan. It's like they're having protests about the United States, and it's like they're in Michigan. That just blows my mind.
Yeah,
that blows my mind.
Get pulled down to this low vibration. We get pulled right down. You fall right into it.
That's why it's about peak performance. It's about training your mind. It's about actually taking shit instead of bombarding yourselves with TV and all of this propaganda bullshit, and looking at something different. Instead of going out to eat with a bunch of friends, take a yoga class.
Right.
Go stretch someplace. Take a walk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got to change your environment. You got to change the people around you. Because those vibrations, those are the ones that are going to bring you down. It's sad, but it's true. I mean, you've walked into places where you could just feel the vibe and be like, it's not right. Fuck, walk away and go someplace else.
Right. Yeah, that starts with yourself too. You know.
Here we go.
Everything does, Michael. Everything.
No.
First there's a thought, and then there's an action.
You know, you're talking about this is the world we live in, and blah blah blah, and you know, not. I mean, blah 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 in the best possible way, of course. I thought about the story about the master, and you saying how you wouldn't want to run into him in a dark alley, and the student saying, you know, why would master be in a dark alley? But then you turned right around and said you had to train yourself mentally. So I know that you know that that's really is the deal. Is you train yourself to vibrate, to just be in the right flow, where you know your flow is in the middle of the river, not the debris and logs and dirt on the sides. You know what I'm saying? When you go to the river, you see how the water moves clean and smoothly in the middle, and it's just the junk on the sides. So we want to stay off the sides. And
stay in your own lane.
No, but this is more. You can't just stay in your own lane. You have to radiate. You have to radiate that light around you. First thing we talked about is this.
I understand. So if you're in your own lane and somebody switches into your lane, you're not switching into theirs. So if you take your vibration and you raise it, you will attract your energy, and your light and your vibration will attract somebody coming into your lane. Then you can help them because you're not seeking them.
We were talking about more positive things, and even
I'm not saying don't deal with bullshit. We got bullshit thrown at us every day.
I'm just saying, even in this conversation, right? Even in this, just to try to keep the conversation on a positive, proactive, let's vibrate upwardly direction. There's so much gravity trying to pull us back down into a lower vibration. It's amazing. There's so much inertia to overcome. So
we can overcome it.
So Mike,
yeah.
if you were gonna be invited to a conversation like this, who would you like to see? Who would you like to see in something like this, where you could just talk about? You know, you were talking about improving your life. You've been talking about physically, mentally. You know, you got a cool ride and stuff. You got I guess you and your girl doing okay. You know, you got a rich girlfriend. That ain't too bad.
No. Actually, no. That's really that's a detriment. I mean, that's been it's unfortunate, and you're going to enjoy. This is an interesting story, Reg.
Can I borrow her for a while? I'll take some of the discomfort.
What's that?
So, borrow the rich girlfriend for a weekend in Monaco.
No, she's not rich. Her father's rich, but her money, her father's money has destroyed their family, and the daughter, okay, who I'm convinced I should be married to, because she has two daughters that I love, okay, wow. And I would do anything for her. I told her, Reg, are you ready for this? I told her, this is like a year and a half ago, that I would sacrifice my life for them, for her daughters, meaning if something happened to her, we were together, and something happened to her, I would raise those girls. Like if the father's around, but if the father didn't want them or whatever, I would raise them. I would still raise them. Okay, at 53. If I was 33, I probably wouldn't know part of it, but I'm at 53 now. So I said that out of sincerity, and it was genuine. I would have thought that she would have taken that and said, Michael, you let me know when you want me to wipe your ass. You let me know how much money you want. I'll give it to you, in the morning. I'll write a check out, whatever. Because that to me is something that is very, very hard to find. Somebody that's going to love your kids maybe more than their own father. Anyway, that aside, money is playing a bigger issue with her than the security and love and a male role model for her kids. So she's choosing the money aspect of it as being more important. So by her doing that, it's avoiding us being together. And, so I'll lose out, she'll lose out, but her daughters will lose out the most, all because of the money, because that's the way she was raised, with a lot of money. So that's what she knows. Like we were talking about before, it's your comfort zone. Just all that, and she grew up with no love, and she has all the love in the world from me, from my family, from my brothers, cousins, nephew. But the point is, she can't make that step to say, "I'll live anywhere with you, Michael," like in Fort Lee or whatever the case may be. You know, she wants her big house in northern Bergen County. I don't know if you know anything about New Jersey, you know, like where all the rich people live and so forth. And she thinks that's going to bring her the happiness. But realistically, if she just changed her thought process and accepted it and trusted and wasn't so fearful, she would get all the happiness she's looking for. But she can't do that, and she won't do that.
And then you would be able to build off of that.
Huh?
What's that?
And then you would be able to build off of that.
Oh, forget, there'd be no end. There'd be no end.
Is
But
there-
she doesn't have enough, the fear is too strong. She doesn't have enough confidence, in herself.
Is there anyone in her family that you know of that has a loving relationship that she could observe? Because it sounds like...
Definitely not her father. The father's divorced 4 times. The sister's about to get divorced. It's a very, very dysfunctional family. But it's because of the money, you know, mostly.
I've seen, you know, families destroyed by money. I've had personal experience with that. I mean, we went from a family that had birthdays and holidays and celebrated Easter together with the kids and all that to, you know, it was just about, you know, making money and, you know, the stores and holidays were good work days and that type of thing. But it sounds like your girlfriend has seen the promise of love, you know, just disappointed so many times that she doesn't have any confidence in it as being sustenance. You know, she hasn't seen a sustaining, loving relationship. So it's hard for her to imagine that could be more satisfying, you know, than the money. She can't see.
Right.
She can't see, for example, that, you know, a loving life with you and her daughters could be less complicated and just as secure as far as shelter and food and all that. I mean, once you have enough food and good shelter and, you know, you got enough liquid assets to be able to travel and stuff, you really don't, anything more than that is just extra anyway.
Right.
It sounds like she's never had the opportunity to learn the value of love.
No, she hasn't.
Which is the money.
What's that?
Which is the money. See, the thing is, my whole thing with this book and everything like that is I went out on a journey to find a difference between currency and money. And what I found was, just through my own experience, we get the terms confused because money is a commodity and everything after that was turned into a currency. But we think it's money. So like the big bank account that is no longer backed by gold or silver. That's important because with that big bank account, you can buy your BMW, your Audis, your big house or whatever. But actually, money has always been time, energy, love, support, commodities, which is all we are trying to do is become a corporation together, right? A merger of a corporation. You want to take your girl and merge her with you and have the 2 little kids and love, happy ending, sunset, moonbeams. That's money. And people, they get confused because we're not shown that. We're shown Madison Avenue, we're shown lobbyists, we're shown all this shit. So for her, it could be culturally as well as an influence, because her friends might say, "Oh, you're with Michael. He's only got an Audi." But it's like Michael's got all the love in the world for her, the 2 kids.
And what she's getting from her friends is not love. It's either approval or disapproval. So when people have money like that, it seems like approval.
But the thing is, there's people with money that are happy.
Oh, yeah, I said like that. I qualified it like that.
You know, I mean, there's plenty of people with money that actually have money and currency.
Right.
Absolutely. They don't show that on TV anymore. You know, you were saying they don't show it. We're talking about the Brady Bunch and, you know, those shows like that, the kind of thing you see on TV that was family oriented and showed how.
Okay, look how dysfunctional they were. in real life.
Another form of it. But I'm just saying, even though.
Well, yeah, but he said, Raj, if I'm reading you correctly, you're talking about what was marketed to us
Exactly.
back in the day.
Family value.
Right, and that's a very good point.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, if you think about the shows from the 50s, 60s, 70s, mostly, even the 80s, okay, whatever the show is, forgetting about the premise of the show, the background was an average house. Just say the Dick Van Dyke Show, for that matter. The guy worked in broadcasting, okay? So he made money, but his home was average. Bob Newhart's show, and I just, The Odd Couple. It was all ordinary homes, apartments, the Brady Bunch, a nice suburban home. It wasn't like the bling home or whatever they call it. Nowadays, any show you watch, you see a kid 24 years old, he's living in a multi-million-dollar home. With the car. So this is what they're marketed, this is what they expect. And we, on the other hand, didn't expect that much, I think, because of what we saw. I mean, there's others that do expect it, but for the majority of people, or maybe it was less, because now it just seems every time you turn on the TV, everything is bling, everything is diamonds and jewelry and flashy car, and not even flashy car. I'm talking about like $100,000 cars. It's everywhere you look. It's all about that, and that's why how do you compete? You can't. I mean, not that you have to, but people want to.
Well, they do want to compete.
The marketing is to get you to believe that all that is going to be more satisfying than what Craig is calling true money, which is love, affection, respect. I was really really blessed the other day. I talked to some friends of mine, and they were telling me about things about me that they liked about me, and it wasn't something I asked them to do. It just happened to be in conversation. They're very complimentary, and I was like, wow, that's a good feeling. Hey, Heather.
Hey.
What's up, sweetie?
Hey! Oh, this is exciting.
And I was just saying how great it made me feel that my friends were talking about me, and the way they were talking about me was so complimentary and flattering. I'm saying, man, that's a blessing. That's money. That's priceless. You can't buy that. And it's that particular day, I needed to be, my vibration could use a little bit of a boost that day. So your girlfriend has never seen that. She's never seen that. She's never seen people whose love for you has raised, actually made you feel better, as opposed to getting that new Rolex,
Right. Well, it's because the way she was raised. She was, I was raised with love. She was raised with money. So that's what they equated to, or that's what they expect, or whatever. But no, I agree with you.
Good luck with that. I hope you can show her love so she sees the value. That would be real cool.
No, you know what? I tried, but some people just don't want to learn, so I'm done trying. I can't spend the rest of my. I don't mind trying for a little while, but eventually, you have to move on.
He's walking away.
Try. Well, from your conversation, I kind of
seriously
seemed like you had some expectations. Like especially when you made the comment about how much you loved her daughters and how valuable you thought that was. You kind of had an expectation of a different reaction. So
hold on 1 second, I'll be right there.
So I'm just saying, check yourself and make sure that you're confident that you're not being disappointed because you have unrealistic expectations of her. Heather, what's up? I'm Reg. This is Mike.
Hi, Heather. I'm Michael.
Hi, I'm Heather. What's your name?
Michael.
Michael and
Reg.
And Reg?
Reg. R-E-J-J.
Reg.
Reg. Yeah. Where are you?
I was just listening, trying to get a tone for the conversation, trying to fill you guys out what you were talking about, so I could hop in.
What's important to you this week? What's important to you? That's what we want to talk about. What's on your mind?
Oh man, I had a lot of interesting things happen.
Where are you from, Heather?
Never dull.
So
Where
what's
are you
the
from,
first thing on your mind?
Oh.
Share with us. Mike wants to know where you're from.
Oh, I'm from South Carolina originally.
Uh-huh.
Is that where you are
And
now?
for the past year, I've been traveling all over the country,
Nice.
How is
learning how to be a glass artist and
Oh,
being a
okay,
better
that's
artist.
cool.
Yeah,
That's
it's
cool.
been an interesting ride. And
Where are you now?
what?
Where are you now?
I'm back home right now in South Carolina. Actually, I took a train from Sacramento, California, cross country to South Carolina.
That's about 3 days, huh?
I got on Tuesday and got home Sunday
Wow.
because it was like a nightmare train ride. Every train was late. I missed another train. Then I had a layover in Chicago. But it was very interesting because on the train ride, I actually met I think, the love of my life, my soulmate. So it was really interesting. Yeah, it was really cool.
That's
And we
really
ended up,
cool.
Bravo.
yeah, he's a school teacher, an elementary school teacher, and an artist, and he works currently for Lego. So he's a really great guy, and I never ever ever thought in a million years that I would meet somebody like him. So you never know.
When I was a kid, my family moved from Chicago to LA. We took the train. It was 3 days. And I know it can be, I mean, you said, I was going to say that was nice because it can be very nice to ride on a train. You guys got a chance to know each other on the train.
That's what happened. It was really interesting, and it was like through everything being so horrible, we always talk about together the circumstances that have had to have happened for us to work out the way that it did, and it's just really one coincidence after another, and he's the interesting thing about us is he's a Christian and I'm a Buddhist.
Oh, right.
So we're able to talk really openly about our religions and we have like a really deep respect for each other. So it's really nice. I don't know. I never would think that could be in a relationship with someone that believed that way, but he makes it so easy and simple.
He's Christ-like, not just Christian, right?
I believe so. Yeah, I believe so.
So
You're like an SBI Buddhist?
What's that?
Soka Buddhist?
I'm sorry. I'm having trouble hearing you. Can you say it a little slower?
You said you were Buddhist. Is that Soka Gakkai?
No, I would say like when I say Buddhist, I would say that I really just focus on the 8 Noble Truths,
Okay.
and there's no it's just very simple form of Buddhism. Like I just really try to read books from various authors. I have kind of a few favorite monks that that I like to read from, and my favorite book is Buddhism Plain and Simple by Steve Hagen.
Okay.
It's a really easy read, and it kind of opens you up a little bit to, I don't know, what Buddhism really is the unreligion, and I think that's why it really kind of is the religion of science. Okay. And so even the Dalai Lama said that if science proves Buddhism to be false, then we would have to change Buddhism. So it's pretty interesting.
Okay, that's cool. It's like we're all talking about being at a higher vibration, so it's a good thing. I'm really happy for you, man. Romance and all that love at first sight and all the train thing. That's you got to sit down and journal that out.
That's what he says. He actually writes comic books, so he says we should make a comic book.
You guys could be superheroes.
Right. Well, that kind of goes in. I'm making a calendar of all female lamp workers called Babes of Boro, and we're actually raising money for a child that's getting a transfusion. And so he's designing the cover, and he's taken all the girls and their likenesses and drawn them out as comic book heroes. And so it's just cool that we're able to merge not only our lives and talk about our religion, but now we're working together too, and it's really fruitful and productive. And he's just making the whole process of work even more enjoyable and lively, and taking the calendar to a whole new level. So it's really good.
Wow.
Yay, good things!
Yeah, you guys could like
no meanies
on a super galactic train.
No meanies. Fuck those guys.
No, that's awesome, man.
I love it.
Very cool.
That sounds like a very nice story.
So what?
It
so
is. See, now it's a nice story. It's a good
Yeah.
story.
It's a
high
good.
vibrations.
I didn't even tell you about the layover in Chicago. We had to stay the night in Chicago. He was actually going to Chicago, taking the train to go see a baseball game.
Okay.
And so that was his whole point for the train ride. It was just an experience where he was going to draw 100 people in 100 hours. And I was one of the people that he chose to draw. And so we just started talking some more. And then, I don't know, it was really nice.
That's what happened.
Hey, Craig, I wonder why would a single guy on a train pick her to draw? I wonder.
Gee, I don't know.
I don't know, Mike. You got a clue?
No idea.
That's cool. That's cool. You look like, I'm looking at you, you kind of look like a high school yearbook picture in the frame there. You guys think that? Like, no, just me? most likely to fall in love on a train.
Right? I was voted most unique.
Oh, really?
Yeah. No, and then my senior year was most likely to become a Dallas cheerleader as like a joke, because I was I was the punk rock girl with the shaved head, you know.
Okay. You can post some of those pictures anytime. We'd like to see them.
I refuse.
I will track them down.
Oh God.
You have to put them up there.
Don't talk to my mom. Don't make friends with my mom, please.
If your mom looks like you, I will.
She does. She's my younger sister.
I'll put that on my list.
All right.
So what's on your mind, kid? What made you tune into
No,
this?
I want to listen. I'm a Leo, but I actually like to listen. So I want to hear what you guys say, because I know you guys have a lot more wisdom than I do. That's why I'm here. I want to learn from you guys. Let me pick your brain.
Yeah, right.
Appreciate that.
How did you find this?
Oh, well, I'm friends with Craig.
Oh,
She's my buddy.
Yeah.
She's badass.
Yeah, we're old pals.
She's badass, man.
You collect stray kitties and puppies too, right?
What's that?
You collect stray puppies and kitties too, right?
Oh, yeah, I do. I've been rescuing animals since I was, I think, 13. My grandmother took me to the SPCA, where she was just a bookkeeper, and I started volunteering there during summer and just always stayed involved with animal rescue. And then I ended up moving to Louisiana, and then the animal abuse there is just insane. So I opened up a thrift store, and we raised money for animal rescue, and I ended up personally rescuing 12 dogs. So, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Craig.
it was intense.
Craig.
I brought a dog back with CPR. That was the craziest experience.
What kind of dog?
I found this dog, and she had hung herself. It just so happened I was driving by, and this dog, it was just a little terrier type of dog. And she was on a chain and in a fence, so she climbed the fence and hung herself. And I was just driving by, and I was like, oh, baby. And I just threw it in park, and I lost my shoes running to her. And I got her, and I picked her up. And as I was picking her up, I just felt this really faint, like, boom, boom. And this little voice was like, there's hope. And I sat her down on the ground, and her tongue was sticking out of her mouth this far and blue. And her mouth was foamed over and just had a lot of, like, dirt. And so I covered her mouth, and I blew in her nose because I didn't want to blow the dirt and the saliva into her lungs. So I covered her mouth, and I blew into her nose. And, sorry, that's John. So, and I don't know, it was like she made like a sound after a while, and it was almost like I had this feeling that I could do it if I just tried. So I started like rubbing her body like this and doing like the chest compressions, but also trying to like circulate the blood. It was very like methodical. Like I was really trying to think about everything. I didn't like ever lose my head. I was focused like the entire time. And I was recently talking to this lady who was telling me about her belief in angels and spirits, and she does like Reiki work. And so like I just was like, why not? I was at that point, and so I just started to pray to angels, and I said, you know, it sounds so cheesy when I repeat it now, but I was just like, if there's an angel of love and mercy, please surround and protect this dog and help me bring her back. And I just kind of said that and worked with her for about a minute and a half, and she just started to slowly come back, and it was crazy. And I ended up got her back and got her conscious, and she was kind of like dazed and out of it for a while. I took her to the emergency room, and we contacted the owner, and she came, and it was a lady judge, and she was so like grateful that I had saved her dog, and it was really nice. She made a huge donation to the SPCA in honor of me, so it was really great.
Yeah, that was amazing.
We did good work that day.
And to have the wherewithal, to have the thought, the presence of mind to blow through the dog's nose and not blow the dirt and stuff into her throat. I mean, that was right on it, kid. I think John got a good catch. You should give John the link so he can join us on the show.
We want to talk to John.
Oh man, he would love that. But he's camping with his kids right now on the beach.
Oh man, how could you?
All right,
I can't
I have
interrupt him with that one.
Excuse me, guys. I have to excuse myself right now.
Huh?
All right, nice to meet you.
Mike, it was a
Nice
pleasure,
meeting
man.
you. Good luck, and keep me posted. I hope everything goes well with John. It sounds like you're on the right track.
So to speak.
Yeah, friend.
No pun intended.
Rejj, it was nice meeting you. All right.
My pleasure, brother. Friend me and come back next week.
How do I friend? Like, how do I know where you are? Like,
You
this is like all
go
new to me.
Go to Facebook. It's Rejj Smooth. REJJ Smooth.
Oh, you're friends with Craig, though, right?
No.
Yeah.
Oh.
See, Mom never liked you. Mom never liked you, rat bastard. It's Rejj Smooth.
All right, guys. Have a good Sunday, and
You can Google me.
Well, I'll check in next Sunday, hopefully. All right.
Invite your friends. Anybody. We accept everyone.
Hey, well, John will be here with me in South Carolina next Sunday, I think. So.
Okay, great.
All right.
We would love to meet John. We gotta check. Me and Craig gotta make sure it's okay. We gotta ask some questions.
All right, Michael, I'll give you a call, brother.
All right, brother. Stay well.
All right, be good.
Yeah. Me and Craig will do the big brother thing for John next week. We're gonna check him out for you. We'll have to ask him.
He'll pass the test.
Fifth degree.
I think I'm lucky because I've been a bad girl for most of my life. So.
Nah, there's no such thing. There's no such thing. That's cultural conditioning. My wife and I were just talking about that not too long ago.
You know what, Heather?
Here.
You know what, Heather? You know what they say? You know what they say? They say good girls go to heaven, bad girls go everywhere.
That's true. I can attest to that.
I know. See, you got all that. You already did all that. So now you're looking to be with John. That's exciting, man.
I'm sure John's real glad you did too.
I'm sure he did. That's good. We're gonna have to keep tabs on YouTube.
Yeah, you should. It'll be interesting to see what happens. So can we go into more in depth what you were saying, Craig, about like the conditioning for women to believe that they were bad? Because that's a good topic for me.
It's cultural conditioning. Why is it I can like sleep around and I'm a stud and somebody else, a female, can sleep around and she's the conversation came up because there's this old lady that makes her rounds around YouTube or whatever, and people ask her certain questions through TV set, and she's sitting in her living room, and one of the questions was, what do you call a girl that sleeps around? And the old lady was like, she's a whore. And we just started laughing because it's like, for a guy to like mess around and stuff, he's looked at as like a stud. He's like this end all and see all. Player. Well, it depends on what generation you're from.
Sure. Oh, right. Yeah, sure. I'm giving you the 90s.
Yeah,
That's what I got. That's what I'm bringing.
I can't even remember the 90s. So there's a lot of mescaline and acid, and it's a blur sometimes.
There's definitely a double standard because the whole thing is society is about control, Heather. So any girl that doesn't want to be controlled, that doesn't want to fit into the box, they're gonna have to say you're bad.
There's a label for you.
Exactly, and since men don't want to take responsibility for what they do, they have to be able to blame you for being too enticing, and your overwhelming sexuality made them go crazy and lose their little dog mind.
Well, you know, what I found is like if a guy likes me and then I think I like him, or there's always something like I think guys get in love with the idea of me and maybe how I look, and then when they get to know me and like I have 3 kids and I don't have a college education and I've bartended most of my life and I'm a glass artist, which means I'm a starving artist, which and so it's
Okay, so let me interrupt you real quick. So basically, what you're telling me is like you've experienced life. You're a single mom, and you have a lot of wisdom built up in all your experiences. You're humbled. That's just my personal observation from the 5 minutes that you're talking. So what I try to do with my daughter, I know my daughter is going to do the same shit I did, same shit my wife did, but I'm going to, for me as a dad of this little girl, I know the real deal of life and the shit that comes along with it.
right.
I'm going to expose my daughter to certain things so nobody tries to get over on her. Now, if my daughter wants to partake in something, she is partaking in something. Nobody is going to take anything away from her because I have her in Aikido. So she is going to willingly be a participant in whatever she wants to participate in. And then when she doesn't want to be and somebody wants her to be a participant, she will fuck him up.
That was a real sideways, backwards way of saying that. You want to empower her so she can make her own choices. If she wants to partake, this is Dad thinking about his daughter doing the wild thing. If she wants to partake in a particular activity, as long as she does it willingly and is not forced upon her by a perpetrator, then I will train her how to kill and pull his eyeballs out.
Rip his throat out. Kill him before he lays down.
Yeah. No, yeah, she's gonna be fine. Have you had problems? Have you felt like you were a bad girl, Heather? Have you felt like you suffered because of the way you lived your life?
I think that my eternal search for my soulmate has landed me in some awkward positions and yeah, I'm just so like freely sexual. Like if I want to have sex with you, I have sex with you. I'm not like there's no time limit or plus like if your dick's little, I really don't want to waste my time. To be quite honest, like if you have the tiny pecker,
Find out from the jump.
I mean,
Hey, listen,
let's just get it out of the way.
Everything that you've gone through has molded you into the person that John needs. I mean, I tell you, when you want a relationship as a mature man, you really want somebody who's got experience. You want a woman that can really have your back.
What's really interesting, and John's going to kill me for telling you this, but you have to know this because it makes the dynamic so much more interesting, is I'm only the second girl he's ever had sex with, and he's 41.
Well, that's good.
So it's very interesting because I've been so like promiscuous.
How do you feel about that?
What?
How do you feel about that?
I was like honored, I mean, he was like all embarrassed to tell me and feeling shy about it, and here I am like feeling like it made me appreciate and value him so much even more. Like I already did, but now I felt like I had this almost responsibility or duty to keep our relationship very like pure, because I was like, this guy really is living, like you said, like Christ-like, and here I am, this bad girl, punk rock Buddhist, and he really appreciates he really appreciates and loves me for who I am, and so that makes me want to live up to the standard that he sees me. So it's been so good for me because I feel like he sees me the way that I really want to be. You know, like.
So you see a huge turning point in your life?
Yeah, huge. Like.
And was that always something that you were seeking?
Yeah, that was almost the problem. Like that was almost it. You know, it's like I'm glad that I finally have it, and I know this is it. Like I really know it. So I'm glad that. What?
How old are you?
Your life.
What?
You've been looking for this all your life, right? You've been looking for your soulmate.
But that's been my problem too. You know, like yeah, I have it now, and it's great, and it all turns out wonderful, and I do have the happy ending. But the thing is, all the crap that I went through to get here. I mean, I guess it just makes for an even better story, but it's a good story. I mean, I've been through.
We all have stories.
Yeah, yeah.
Whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Yeah, exactly, man.
But you know what? I'm so grateful, even for the really fucked up shit, things that I thought I wasn't gonna make it through on the like for real. I'm so grateful for those now because I realize it really does make me the person that I am today, and I really like myself a lot. I mean, I value other people. I'm non-judgmental. I really genuinely care about others and want to do good, like to the point of serving others, you know. And so I'm grateful for everything that I went through because I think that going through those things made me so empathetic and compassionate for other people. You know, that I wouldn't trade that for anything ever.
Sound right on to me. Sounds like you got it figured out.
Pretty much.
Yeah, you sound really sharp. If you really got on the ball.
Heather, how old are you?
I'm 34.
I'm really excited for you.
What's that, Craig?
But you're still a young lady.
Yeah, I'm still young, so I still have time. My kids are young, and I know 34 is kind of older, I think, to be figuring out things. Don't you think? As much as I am. I feel like I'm a late bloomer. I feel like I'm always a late bloomer.
Hey, Craig, I'm still figuring out things. You still figuring
yeah, I know. I'm saying I'm 49. I still don't know what I want to be when I grow up.
Okay. So I'm pressuring myself for no reason.
And you're talking to two people that have really fucked up lives as well. So I mean.
Okay, so let me hear your story, Craig, because I know you give little hints about things on Facebook, and you and I have been following each other for, gosh, I think at least 4 months, if not 6, and we've been interacting. So, like, I want to hear something about the real. Come on, Craig.
Something real. I love my wife and daughter to death.
No, but before, like, I want to hear about your youth. Like, I want to hear what made you.
My youth.
Yeah.
I grew up in the 80s. I grew up in Cliffside, New Jersey. My mascot in high school was a Quaalude, literally. I grew up a mile and a half south of the George Washington Bridge, so I basically was brought up in the streets of Harlem because we used to make city runs for lunch period. I used to do a lot of mescaline when I was a kid. I grew up in an environment where my mom was sick a lot. So, I mean, I was running from my home life, which was really, okay, in a bizarre way, because my mom was sick, but I still had that unity and love from my parents. But I wasn't able to be a better son because I was running away from certain problems that I thought I had, but I was actually creating them for myself. We all have stories. I decided to like travel around.
I gotta move so my mom can sleep.
Go to sleep, Mom.
Go to sleep, Mom. Thanks, Mom. Come on, baby. Misha Bear. Okay, I'm totally listening. I'm a woman. I can multitask.
Oh, man.
No such thing as multitasking.
No, I'm actually really horrible at it. I can't chew gum and walk at the same time.
Wait for you to get settled.
It's because I'm so loud is what it is.
Is that the stuff that you put in the book, Craig? Your bio?
Pretty much. No, we read about our stories, and it's like, you know, I've told you, Reg. I mean, it's the same thing with you. You could we're talking to each other now because we're still alive.
Tell me about it.
You know, and it's like some of the situations that I've been into. It's like, what the fuck? How? Why? And then I realized why, for my purpose, and my purpose. And once we find our purpose, I think you stop being. I think you once we find our purpose and we stop being afraid, we realize how powerful we really are. Then the shit really gets interesting.
Did you define your purpose?
Yeah, I did, and it was humbling too because it was off of like a couple DMT blast-offs.
Okay.
And it was kind of like my purpose in this world. I always prided myself on being the business guy, the information guy. I wanted to teach about, you know, financial literacy and banking and all this shit, and it was like it was revealed to me that I wasn't a very good businessman. I revealed it to myself. I'm just a guide.
Yeah.
So once I realized that, I became my own business. Now I have no competition. So I'm not in competition with anybody. I'm not ahead of anybody. I'm not behind anybody. I'm where I should be right now. So it's kind of interesting. I enjoy it. Anybody gets in my way, I'll run them the fuck over. Because you're not coming at me with all kinds of business nonsense or fucking attorneys or whatever. I'll fucking walk all over them too. Because I think once you reach that certain point in your life where it's like, you know, you can accept all the failures that you've had, all the business failures, personal relationships, you know, you start to look at life a lot different. Where it's kind of like, well, if I did that, I should have been dead and I'm not. Why? Well, fucking, we'll deal with that later. And then I did this and I'm not dead. Why? And then you all these stories together and they collide into like this beautiful light. And it's kind of like, well, I have this light in me. I've been through the standing up, speaking in front of people. You know, you get to reach thousands of people when you know, like those real estate seminars and stuff we used to do. And it's kind of like, okay, I look at it like that was training for what's coming next. So I dropped this book, go back to speaking, and now I can grab the masses because I have that mask of ego taken away. I already know I'm a shitty businessman, which I used to pride myself on being a great businessman. So now I'm just a guide. I'm just light, seeking a human experience, and I want to shine that shit everywhere I go. And it's kind of interesting because I want to give my daughter the life that I never had. I want to give my wife the life that she never asked for anything, so she deserves everything.
Yeah.
She's happy, like we were talking with Michael. I mean, my wife is happy living in my house. You know, I live in a rented house in Mexico. She's happy. Does she want more? Yeah. Does she complain about shit? Not at all. We go to the beach whenever we want. We live a certain life. We've had the money. We've had the cars. We've had the houses. I've been a landlord to fucking hundreds of people. I've owned dozens and dozens of properties in multiple countries. I've had businesses all over the fucking place. And one thing that I finally realized was I was a shitty businessman. Now I'm the business. Now I have no competition. None whatsoever.
Why do you say you were a shitty businessman?
Because I didn't like going. Look, if I went and saw a piece of property, okay, and the guy said I want $100,000 for it, and I saw potential of the place being $150,000 if I just went and spit shined it, I'd give him the $100,000, and people would be like, "Oh no, you gotta negotiate with him. You gotta create a win-win situation," and And it's like, no, if I don't, if I fuck around with this guy, I say, okay, I want 93, and he says, no, I got another guy gonna give me for 95. I just lost 50 grand. So why not give the guy 100? It makes sense. It makes sense to me. Mind your own fucking business. Let me do what I do. And but I was always trying to like impress upon like my presence. I needed to like force myself. I became everything that I fucking hated, and that was when I had the most money. I was fat. I was belligerent. I was egotistical.
You mean you weren't happy as a businessman?
I wasn't happy with the cons and scams. You always got to kiss people's asses, and like, when I'm doing these real estate seminars, it's like I can get whatever I want. So I'm walking into a place, and it's like, come on, let's go to a 5-star place to eat. I don't have to pay for anything because somebody wants to pick my brain for some shit. So somebody's kissing my ass all the time. And it got to a point where I was getting miserable. I was getting into self-sabotage. Because I reached that pinnacle financial success that we were all trained to believe in, and it's true. It's lonely at the top. So I created a different environment where I want to bring everybody to the top. I don't want to be on top of the mountain where people see me anymore. I want to be on top of the mountain so I can see the world. That's an entirely different concept. It's an entirely different mind power. It's an entirely different philosophy. I don't need to be the center of attention, but I am going to create the energy that brings everybody to the center of attention, if they so desire. Because I don't want followers. I want to create leaders that go past me.
But you said you were a shitty businessman, and none of that. You seem to be a successful businessman. You just didn't seem happy as a businessman.
No, I wasn't a successful businessman. If I was a successful businessman, I would have became the business a long time ago. A businessman to me is somebody that has to lie, cheat, steal, con, convince, manipulate. You have to constantly try to find different avenues to manipulate. And maybe there's strong words, but that's my experience. That's what I see. People fuck people over for nonsense. And my environment is I'm creating myself. I created myself, so I have no competition. There's no competition on planet Earth for me because nobody has my experience in life. Nobody has my mindset because it's mine. I have free thought. So what I'm doing is I'm going to somebody like Heather, okay? And not that you need it. I'm just using you as an example. And I'm going to show her. I don't care what your past was like. You have beauty within you. Shine that shit everywhere. Don't listen to people that are going to drag you down. Fuck them. Walk away from them. Step over them. Shoot them. Do whatever you have to do to run away from them, okay? Because anytime somebody's going to bring you into a lower vibration, it serves nothing. It doesn't serve you, and it doesn't serve that other person. So putting yourself in a higher vibration with all the shit, all the luggage that you have behind you, is useless. Leave it at the train station. Bring forth your new. See, I don't believe in coincidences. I think that you were in the right place at the right time, and I think your boyfriend was in the right place at the right time, and your paths collided. Okay? So that's going to create a different vibration for you as a couple, where you're going to take this vibration, and now it's like all your experience and all his experience are going to join, and now you're going to create a corporation that can do whatever you want. You'd be phenomenal. If you want to sit, hang out, do whatever you want, who's to say that's wrong? I want to bring the genius out of people. You're ahead of the game. 34 years old, 3 kids. Fuck that life experience alone. I see what my wife does. I get man flu. I get sick. I get man flu. I can't do shit. I got to go to bed. I'm like I see my wife. She gets the same flu, right? She's got to cook, clean. She'll clean up after me, my kid, my dog. It's like I look at her and I'm like, holy shit, this girl's Superwoman. Not only is she Superwoman for doing all this shit, but she still puts up with me after 15 fucking years. Are you kidding me? I'm truly blessed That's why I say she deserves everything, because she will be with me. She will stand by my side. She'll take the punches, and she'll just keep on going. She has faith in me. She believes in what my message is, because I think my message is bigger than who I am, and I'm 6'3", 275. So when I walk on a stage, which I have, I demand the presence, okay? I create that energy. I want to walk into a room, and I want to knock people upside the head. I want to change their cultural differences, their cultural whatever mind fuck that they've been going through their whole lives, to be able to create and have people walk out of a show, because all it is entertainment, right? It's like, people want to listen to other people talk and ramble and all this other shit because they want to feel connectivity. So all I'm doing is I'm connecting to people through like-minded experiences. One thing I don't mean to be jumping all over the place, but one thing that I did realize as a business, Heather, if you wanted to start a small business, okay, and I wanted to start a large business, let's say you need $5,000 and I need $5 million, okay, but only you have 4,000 and I have 4,900,000. As humans, we both experience the same thing. It's called being fucked, okay? So what I do is I take that person that is like, oh, I'm fucked, and I help them get that energy to not stop just because at that time they're fucked. I show them how they're not really fucked. The power that they have to get that extra money, okay, to push away all the crap that we've been taught. Oh, well, if you don't have X amount of dollars, you're kind of screwed. We're all kind of screwed. What I show people is how to get that extra money. And you do that through fortitude. You do that through constantly gnawing, crawling, clawing your way to get what you want, to get what you deserve, not what you expect. It's something entirely different. When you expect things, wrong way to look at the things, because your expectations are going to be too high and you're going to fall short. Deserve them. That means you're going to go out and create your life. That's something that's an entirely different mindset. And I hope I'm not just like rambling all over the fucking place.
No, I'm listening to you because I actually, what's so interesting, I listened to this lady. I've been listening to her for about 8 years, I guess. Her name is Esther Hicks. Have you ever heard of her?
No.
Esther Hicks. So she claims that she channels collective consciousness that call themselves Abraham. And there's a similar thing that happened with Jane Austen. I think that's her name, Jane Austen. She used to channel collective consciousness named Seth and wrote a book called Seth Speaks. And there's a few other authors. And I think it was in the 60s that it happened. So anyway, so now here's Abraham and Esther Hicks. And she talks a lot about, like, manifesting things. And her belief is that she kind of works along quantum physics, where she states that our belief and expectations are what determines our reality. And so I wonder, I'm just listening, and I'm kind of like just comparing, notes, because what you say is expectation makes us fall short, because then when we don't reach our expectations, I guess I'm just trying to like understand what you're saying.
When you expect something, right? Okay, like you're going to expect a relationship with this guy John. Okay. What happens if when you expect something, you think it's just going to normally work its course, right?
Right.
So that means you don't have to work for that beautiful relationship.
Right.
Because you already expect it. It's going to happen.
Right.
When I say it's complete bullshit, because if you do that, then you're not doing him any justice and you're not doing yourself any justice. You're not bringing your collective thoughts together as a unit,
right,
okay, and expanding on that. You're just expecting things to happen and manifest.
Right.
That's bullshit. Right. It doesn't work like that.
Right.
That's why I said you end up falling short.
Well, you were talking about being a bad girl, and all of your experience led you to this point, so that you have the patience necessary for a relationship. You got 3 kids. You know relationship is work.
Hang on, why am I not hearing you? What was the last sentence?
I said you had children, so you obviously had relationships.
Right.
So you know a relationship is work.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, especially with my 14-year-old.
There's a difference between having. It's like Mike was talking earlier about something that he had shared with his girlfriend that he felt, and her response disappointed him. In that regard, he had expectations. He expected her to behave differently.
Right.
What Craig's talking about, I believe, is a little different. You're talking about the expectation that there'll be no effort in having the relationship that you envision. Even though you can manifest it in your mind, there's going to be effort involved. Not necessarily work, but effort.
Right.
Well, if you're just expecting something, it's kind of like, I expect this relationship to work out. Okay? So now, Heather, you and I are friends. So now I expect that we're going to be really good friends. But I'm just expecting that, but I'm not going to make the phone call. I'm not going to say, "Hi, Heather, how are you? How's your day going?" "Oh, it's shitty." "Oh, fuck it. I don't have time for it." Right? So
Don't cloud my vision with your negative energy.
thank you. That's my point. And the thing is, it's like we expect so much in this society. We expect girls to be good girls. We expect bad girls to have shitty lives. We expect all of this stuff. And I grew up in the rooms, man. I'm a fucking drug addict, and it's like I'm like expect nothing. I've seen the worst of society. I've seen more shit than most people can comprehend, conceive, whatever. But my point is, I don't expect anything. I have to work for everything.
Right. Yeah.
I deserve everything. Therefore, I'm going after things. Okay? I deserve to have my beautiful wife and my beautiful daughter. Okay? I deserve to have great friends. I deserve what is coming next in my life. And what's coming next in my life is something 10 years ago I could have never even thought of. I could have never even conceived. Because at that point 10 years ago, I was a douchebag. Okay?
Well,
I didn't like myself.
Probably a different person, but, whatever.
No, I was. You couldn't tell me shit.
Right.
You couldn't tell me anything. I wouldn't listen. No, fuck that. It's my way or the highway.
Yeah.
And I'm egotistical, especially in the business that I was in, real estate and finance. And now I'm talking all over the United States. I'm doing conferences, and everybody's looking for answers and all this other shit. And once I realized I didn't have a fucking answer for anything, the whole world changed. It's because I knew myself. I knew what I was hurting. I knew what I wanted, and I turned around and I was like, I already had it. I had my wife and my daughter. So I was seeking other things. I was chasing other things. And when you chase things, they elude you. They're constantly in front of you because you're chasing them. If you just sit back and say, you know what, I'm fucking tired. Fuck this. I don't know anything. I thought I did. Let me just chill out. And then, bam, you're on a train. You look over to this guy.
Happened. Yeah, I'd given up.
You're looking at this guy, and it's like, really? What's up? And then it's like, and you were saying, you believe in coincidences. I don't believe in coincidences at all. I think that when it's your time, it's your time. And when you shine, you should shine that shit everywhere you go. And I get a tough time talking sometimes because my mind works faster than my mouth. So I'm already having like 5 different conversations, and I'm trying to convey a point that it's within you. See, like my whole thing with religion, I don't care what you believe. That's your belief system, right? My whole thing is I think we're light seeking a human experience, so religion doesn't play into that. Yeah. I think we label each other. Why can't your guy walk in the way of Christ and you walk in the way of Buddha, and you guys hang out and you create love, energy?
Mm-hmm.
Why do we have to label ourselves? Why do we have to believe, because now, you're a Buddhist, so you have to believe a certain way. Well, what if he, like, shows you a different way? That's why I think we're light-seeking a human experience.
Right.
I'm here to experience everything.
I think that's definitely the best place to be, and I think that's definitely the point I've gotten to is realizing just that. Like, I'm just really here to experience shit. I mean, I don't really care anymore about what people think. I had, incidents where I was a bad girl and I was dating a guy on and off, and I really just didn't like him, but I was almost like I held on to him because he was like my cozy blanket. It was someone that I knew was going to be there. And I guess in some ways, looking back, like, I was using him, because I knew that I wasn't in love with him, but I think I was telling myself that I was, because I was saying, well, he'd be so nice to the kids, he can be very sweet, but then sometimes he'd call me a selfish bitch, or wouldn't let me in the glass shop because it was a waste of his oxygen. And by oxygen, I mean the gas that goes into the, not like that you breathe. So, like, he was in a way like really hurtful to me, but I made excuses for why it was okay, and it was just really interesting how, like, there's no coincidences. I was getting on the train to come back home to try to work things out with him, and I was on the train and I pulled up. We weren't getting service, and I finally pulled up my messages, and he broke up with me, like, while I was on the train. It was so interesting because that was like John was sitting across from me, and we were like carrying on a conversation, about like how he was taking a life selfie and he definitely wasn't looking for anybody, and he was married to his daughter, and all of these things where he was definitely not looking for a girl. And then I get broken up with, and here we are, like, these two like lost souls, like, and it was
on a
like,
train.
yeah, train. And so it's just funny, like, I think you're right, I mean, and John says, of course, being the Christian that he is, he says things like God put us together, and he really believes that wholeheartedly, that I'm sent here to be with him. So, I mean, it's flattering, the Buddhist in me says I believed it, and so it's so. Like, I always knew that I was deserving of my life experience that was to be with my soulmate. I see other people doing it. I saw examples of it. Not that I had seen it in my childhood, but I'd seen it, since then. Nothing else than fucking movies. And I realized that it was totally possible for you to have, like, a normal relationship where you really just fucking liked each other. And I was determined to find that.
Where you liked each other.
Yeah, I really liked each other.
Friends.
Like, we're friends.
As a friend.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, John's my
wife and I have been together for 15 years, right? Who do you take your frustrations out? The people that are closest to you. We don't have a fairy tale marriage. We have a strong marriage. And the reason why, we both have mutual respect for each other. When I get on her nerves, she tells me, "You're on my fucking nerves. Get out of my face."
Right.
I respect her. I love her. I'm not the easiest person to get along with, neither is she. But we get along with each other because we understand each other. We have mutual respect for each other. We leave each other alone. We give each other our space. And we teach my daughter the same thing.
Yeah.
Am I right in what I do? I don't know, man. Fucking life didn't come with a book. I'm just learning this shit as I go along.
Right.
But I have enough life experience where I would like to say I'm doing the right thing. I'm trying to raise a good girl. She's got she speaks 2 languages fluently. She learning a third. She understands another one. She doesn't burn fucking kitty cats with a magnifying glass. I think I'm doing okay.
You're doing pretty good, yeah.
But what do you? We try to gauge and measure from other people and other people's experiences and shit. No, nobody's walking in my size 12s. They don't know what my life is about. They're going to real soon, a little bit, because I can only write about the shit that won't get me in trouble.
That's what makes you sell books.
Well, but you can save that for the seminars.
It is. We have had a great time. Time flies. It's after 7 o'clock.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, time flies. Heather, you coming back next week?
Yeah, I'll be back next week for sure. I'm
I'm not
excited.
gonna I'm not gonna be here next week.
Oh, where are you gonna be?
I can't say.
Oh, okay.
How you not gonna be here next week, man?
I can't say.
How you gonna
Just because I live in another country.
Okay.
how you
Yeah,
not gonna be next week?
I should be on next week, yeah, for sure, and hopefully John
Yeah,
will be.
come back, tell your friends what we're trying to do. You know, I mean, I love Reg. He kind of loves me. It's not like, you know, we've been friends for a really long time. We're trying to get people into, I don't know, raising your vibrations, on, you know, sharing your love for the world, man. You know, when I'm done with my book, I'm starting Mentor Radio again, which I love doing. I love interviewing people. I love learning. I love mentoring. I love teaching and understanding humans because we're a very complex species. You know, I don't think anybody laughs or cries in a different language. So I think like we kind of like we complicate our lives by the cultural norms that we're supposed to be portrayed through.
Yeah, it's
You
definitely
know?
brainwashing from birth. I mean, it really is.
Yeah, absolutely. We're all the same. We all want the same shit.
Yeah, it's hard. I try not to do that to my kids, and that's about all we can do, right?
That's all we can do. Life doesn't come with a book.
Yeah.
You
Just
know, we
keep
got to
it.
live through our experiences, and hopefully our kids learn from our fucked up shit.
Yeah, for sure. Example definitely sets a tone, for life. So always be positive and try to be, I don't know.
Well, I don't know if you could always be positive. I mean, like I try to say I bat 450 in life. That means like 55% of the time I fuck up.
Pretty good. It's pretty
So,
good.
but it's kind of like the 450 is kind of like really good batting average for like $3-4 million a year. So I'm like going in that direction, you know. I live my life based on my rules. I learned the rules. I knew how to break them. Um, now I have my rules. They're human rules. Be nice.
I like them.
Love, compassion,
That's
understanding.
always my message, Craig. That's where I'm always coming from. Fuck the blue
Oh,
meanie.
exactly. Exactly. And
Yeah.
the thing is, and I was telling Reg before, like we had a very successful show years ago, and we switched it up, and then it went down, and then we had another one and started picking up again. And I was like, you know, this time, you know what we do? We just start fucking talking, and we send our vibration out, and whoever gets attached to it gets attached to it. Don't don't expect something. Let's just have fun, and that's what we do. That's what we do. Hello?
You there?
Yeah.
All right.
But
All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna go to sleep because I have to get the kids up real early and get them to
yeah, do
school.
your thing. I'm glad you stopped by. I'm glad I
Yeah.
put like, you know, tonality.
Yeah, it's nice. I mean, it's nice to hear that I'm not a bad girl. It's nice to hear.
I can't listen. I can't judge anybody by what their experiences are or what, you know. I'm not here to do that. I'm here. I'm here seriously. I believe I'm put on planet Earth to run into people to help them realize that they're not bad people. Realize that you have all love, compassion, and understanding to be this huge ball of light. Shine that shit everywhere, man.
All right.
Like
Amen.
my head. Like my head. It's bald and shine. Kind of like, you know.
Perfect. All right, guys.
But anyway, it was nice talking to you.
Yeah, one love to you guys for sure. And Craig, I'll see you around. And then your friend, I'll Facebook him. Craig, what was his name?
Reg Smooth.
Reg.
R-E-J-J. He's on my friends list.
All right, I gotcha. All right, I'll see you around, buddy. Be
All right,
good.
sweetie. Be good.
Take
Bye.
care. Bye bye.